So, hey everyone, welcome to my webinar. This is your life and business strategist, Steve Harris. Welcome to this webinar entitled How to Make the Last 30 Days of 2015 Count. How do we make the last 30 days of 2015 count? How do we maximize those moments? Awesome stuff. Thank you for participating. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be 1 hour of intensive. Absolutely, boom, boom, boom. We're going to be hitting it really hard, and we're going to be having a phenomenal and fantastic time. So if you can hear me, if you can see this webinar, you can please hit me up on the chat box somewhere in the view of your screen, and then just simply let me know that you can see me. So just simply type yes. You may be using your mobile device, you may be using a computer. But if you can hear this, if you can see this, if you can also see the chat box in the middle of this webinar, just simply type yes and we will proceed. Anyway, so while we wait and while you catch up, I'm really excited because it's another, we're winding down to the end of the new year, of the old year, and prepping for the new year 2016. I cannot believe it. Seems just like yesterday we were just participating and we were busy shouting Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And all of a sudden now, hey, it's a new year. We're prepping. We've got about, give or take, 45 days until the end of the year. And 45 days is more than enough. I guarantee 45 days is more than enough for you to be able to make a significant difference in your life over the next 30, 45 days before we launch into 2016. Alrighty, so as we're participating, I'm going to make this very interactive, so it's not just me talking. So we'll be going through some presentation slides even as we go along through this session. So without much further ado, let's get into the crux of the chase. Obviously, you know my name, Steve Harris, your life and business strategist, the Edge Ecutioner. Absolutely. So we're going to be dealing with how to create the life you want in 30 days, or like we call this particular webinar, how to make the last 30 days of 2015 count. All right. This is what it's all about. We are guaranteed to give you results. All right. So remember, if you can see this webinar, if you can watch the video, there should be a screen, a chat screen somewhere in the middle of your video. You can be able to just let me know that you can see this. Just simply type yes, or just go ahead with the conversation. All right, so we're going to be dealing with how to create the life that you want in the next 30 days. We all recognize, man, that time flies. Like I said earlier, it was just a couple of months ago, just seems just like yesterday, that we were in church. I don't know where you were on December 31st, 2014 to January 1st, 2015. We were shouting Happy New Year, and all of a sudden, now it just seems like we're counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. And before you know it, it's another new year, and then we are in 2016. So it's not all that sad. It's not all that, blood and gore. The issue now is, how do we effectively maximize your 2015? Because what normally happens, and if you allow me to go back here for a second, what normally happens is I found out that a lot of people just, they tend to give up on the end of the year. So by the time it's, November, about this time, you're getting a lot, very demotivated. You're getting really, really sad. You're very apprehensive. You probably feel like you didn't maximize the year. You probably feel like you could have done better. You probably feel like, hey, you didn't give it your best shot. But it's not all that bad. All right. I'm a strong believer that as long as there's life, there's hope. And what we need to be able to do is effectively find creative and simple strategies, very simple strategies that anyone can use to effectively manage the rest of the year, to effectively manage the last 45 days of 2015, even as we cross over into 2016, because you've been there before. What happens is when it's a new year, it's a new season, all of a sudden we promise ourselves that we'll be better. We promise that, this 2016, I'm going to give it all I got. No more drinking, no more smoking, no more partying, if that's your thing. Or I'm going to be more responsible. I'm going to be a better father, a greater husband. I'm going to be less angry, or whatever the case may be. We tend to make ourselves these sorts of promises. So by the first, maybe the first 2 or 3 days, we made our resolution, we're pumped, we're ready to go, we're pushing, we're excited about this whole encounter, that this new year, this new season will be entirely different, will be a whole lot better. But what normally happens is by the end of the week, most in generally, or if you're lucky, or for some people, maybe by the 3rd or 4th day, you've already gone back into your previous habits. Now, why does this happen? You've got to be able to recognize that, listen, it's not about making resolutions. It's about your resolve. And I'm going to say this again. It's not about resolutions. It's about your resolve. You can make resolutions from now till next year. That doesn't matter. What will make the difference is your resolve. How resolved are you? How committed are you to the task? And I believe this, that as long as it's a nice to do, it ain't going to happen. But as long as you consider it a must do, then it will happen. Let me put it this way. As long as losing weight is a nice idea, sweetheart, you're going to be packing all the pounds. Homie, as long as, saving money and all those other wonderful things are a nice idea, they will never happen. So the goal of this webinar, over the next couple of minutes, particularly, we should be shutting this down in another hour or less, is just for me to just communicate very practical things that I believe will help you effectively manage the last 30 days, and not just the last 30 days, because my goal is to build a system for you. My goal is to be able to build habits that you're used to, because we've heard it said before that whatever you can do over the 21-day period consistently will eventually become a habit. A lot of people who have great ideas, or the reasons why resolutions are broken, is because it's not been systemized. It's not been broken down into a habit. So my goal is to be able to help you make this a habit. So if you have a pen, a paper, this will be pretty instructive, so that you can also take notes, so that we don't forget what we learn over the next 50 minutes or so. Alrighty, cool. So let's see what we can go into. All right, hey, Michael, I can see Michael. So, hey, Michael, yes, you are here. Thank you for participating, Michael. Shout out to you. Remember, if you're watching this webinar, you can just simply put a message out there in the chat box and just simply say hi. Let me know that you're here. I can see several people from different locations. Yeah, all righty then. So let's get back into the presentation, shall we? I don't want you to just get stuck and hung up in my very good-looking face. All righty, so like I was saying earlier, time really flies, and before you know it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's another new year. 2016 is around the corner. So here are some practical things that I know will be able to help you effectively build a system over the next couple of days. All right, so here's the first question. What area or areas of your life could you be better focused on? All right, what area or areas of your life could you be better focused on? What area of your life could you be better focused on? All right, so let me just pause that for a second and get back to this. All right. Ibuka, how you doing, man? Thank you, Ibuka, for participating. Hi, Ibuka. I hope I pronounced your name. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Please forgive me. If I do mispronounce your name, forgive me. What can I say? But thank you for showing up. All right. So that simply asks the question, what area of your life would you like to transform over the next 30 days? And eventually becomes a system. Now, basically, there are about 7 dimensions of your life that you may want to work on. Let's see if we can go into it this way, shall we? Let me show you. Alrighty then. Okay, great. Okay, so technically these are the areas of your life that you might want to be able to work on. All right, over the course of the next 30 days, and I'm going to be helping you with a system that is guaranteed. That's my word again. That is guaranteed to be able to help you effectively navigate this season of your life. All right, so let's go through them, shall we? So here, let's start with one. So number one is your business or your career or your job. So you might be, you might want to improve on your job, or you might want to improve on your business. You might want to get a job. You might want to start a business. I don't know. But this is one particular area that you might want to be able to do this. I'm going to explain what this diagram means shortly. So stay with me, okay? The second dimension of your life is your financial dimension. So your relationship with your money. All right. So here, this is your relationship with your business or your career. This is your area, your relationship with your finances. Now, please recognize that if any of these areas goes out of whack, it can definitely affect the entire system of your life. I'm going to say that again. If any of these areas are out of sync, your business, your finances, your health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, and your physical environments, if any of these areas are lacking, it will affect the totality of who you are. So this is your business and your career. Then we're dealing with your finances, okay? Number three, your health. You might want to say to yourself this year, I want to work out more. So for example, I had a goal this year. I wanted to work out more. I wanted to be more specific. I wanted to be 85 kilograms. I wanted to work out 3 days a week at the gym. I wanted to be able to bench press 100 kilograms of iron. Let's say, I'm not exactly there because to be honest, I fell off the wagon a few times and I got back on and fell off again. But why I'm teaching this is because I recognize that even I'm not infallible. I make mistakes too. Everyone who should be a great teacher learns from his mistakes. And you know what they say? Experience is not the best teacher. In reality, it's other people's experience that truly is the best teacher. All right. So with dealing with your business, your career, your finances, your health, your family and friends, your relationship with your family and friends. So it might be the fact that you want to get out more. It might be the fact that you want to call your parents more, or you want to be more nurturing as a family person, or you want to make new friends because you're pretty solo. These are things that are measurable that you might want to work with. All right, romance. Okay, so hey, all my single fellas and single brothers who are probably too busy working, you're workaholics, and you ain't got no time for love, or you're getting love in all the wrong places. You might want to be able to set a goal for that, and we'll talk about that shortly, okay? All right, next up, personal growth. All right, how much did you grow this year? Talk to me in terms of, did you read books? Did you attend seminars, conferences? Did you listen to audios every day? How did you improve yourself? Did you get that academic qualification that you've been looking for, whether it's the ICANN, whether it's certificate in performance management or personnel management, so that human resource certification that you wanted to do? Were you able to achieve that? All right. Next up, fun and recreation. All right. Now, let me tell you about this. A lot of us are way too serious, and I'm one of those people who really is too serious. I kind of take myself really seriously. So unfortunately, what normally happens is I don't particularly have time for fun. No, that's not right. I do have time. I've just not allocated importance to it. Now, I'm going to say that again. Whatever you do not allocate time to is not important. I'm going to say that again. All right. In achieving your goals in 2016 and for the rest of 2015, whatever you do not allocate time to is not important. So if you don't allocate time to your physical fitness and your health, what you're saying is that your health is not important. Now, that may be shocking, but that is so true. All right. Again, you've got to be able to look at it and say, let's say romance. Okay. If you don't have any goals, right? If you have no goals for that, what can I say? It means that it is not important to you. All right. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to say that again. Whatever you don't allocate time to is really not important to you. If you don't allocate time to making, managing, and managing, multiplying, and mastering your money, it means your finances are not important. Okay, your physical environment here talks about the quality of environment in which you live. The quality of your house, your neighborhood. Do you live on the island, on the mainland? What type of apartment? What type of home do you live in? All right, so let's go back. Then I'm going back to this diagram in a few moments. All right, so the first question, like I asked you, is what areas of your life could you be better focused on? And then I showed you this diagram. All right, still again, what areas of your life do you want to transform in the next 30 days? All right, what areas of your life do you want to get transformed in the next 30 days? Now, out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out of these 8 dimensions of your life, I want to challenge you, not to pick all of them. All right, I want to challenge you to deal with 1 or 2, but this is what we're going to do. So let me pause this for a second and get back to my beautiful face. All right, cool. So what I'm talking about is this. For that particular diagram that I showed you, and I'm going to be showing to you shortly, this is my thing. Out of the 8 dimensions that I showed you, your romance, your professional, business and career, your finances, your personal development, and the like, I want to challenge you to deal with 1 or 2 over the next 30 days. Because it's not about the number, it's about the discipline. Because if you're able to deal with 1 or 2 of these areas of your life that need work, guess what you're doing? You're creating great discipline. And discipline is absolutely crucial to everything that you want to do. So you've got to be able to create the right type of discipline. So I'm going back to that presentation. I'm going to walk you through it, and we'll see how this works for you, okay? All right, so let's go back to this presentation. All right, cool. All right, now, if you can, I'd like you to just draw this diagram, okay? Just draw this circle, all right? And divide it into 8 pieces, all right? If you can do that, simply just type yes, all right? Draw a circle, this particular circle is as best as you can, and divide it into 8 little subsets or pies, all right? That'll be cool. Now, once you've done that, I'd like you to list them. So business and career for 1, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, last but not the least, physical environment. You got it? All right. Now, once you've done that, I would also like you to demarcate. So, do a gradient from 0 to 10, 0, 5, 10, 0, 5, 10, 0, 5, 10, all the way. All right, have you done that? Like I said, this is going to be very intensive. We're moving as fast as we can because we only got an hour for this webinar, because I have another coaching session immediately after this, but I want to give you guys the very best of myself. Alrighty now, so I'm sure you've done that. Now, once that's done, this is what I want you to do. Now, I want you to be absolutely honest with yourself, all right? No BS. Be absolutely honest with yourself. You know what they say, garbage in, garbage out. So if you're not honest with yourself, this assessment will definitely not work, all right? So this is what I want you to do. Rating yourself from 0 to 10, I would like you to score yourself in each of these areas. Now, what do I mean? For example, I'd like you to look at your business if you have a business, or your career if you're employed. So if you're a business owner, look at your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're an employee in employment, look at your career. All right. So for example, if you had a business, I would say to you, rating yourself from 0 to 10, rate your level of satisfaction. Rate your level of satisfaction with each of these places. So for example, rating myself from 0 to 10 as a business owner, how satisfied am I with my business on a scale of 1 to 10? All right. So for example, let's say for me, rating myself in my business, I would rate myself, let's say 6. All right. So just maybe put a circle here or a cross or an asterisk. Okay. So for me, let's say business would be 6. Finances, let's say my finances haven't been where I want them to be. Let's say I set a goal, if I had a goal, for example, to make, let's say 10 million naira, have 10 million naira saved or something like that. And at the end of the year, maybe I have 1 million naira or 100K saved. Maybe I'll rate myself maybe 2. So in the level of my finances, I'd score myself 2. Now over your health, I'd like you to score yourself as well. So what would you score yourself from 0 or from 1 to 10 in the area of your health? So how healthy are you? Now the fact that you didn't go to the hospital this year for anything major doesn't necessarily mean that you are healthy. All right. The fact that you weren't hospitalized doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy. Just simply climbing up the stairs. You climb up the stairs without panting or wheezing, then you'll be able to determine how healthy you are. So let's say for me, I'd give myself an 8 in health. This is purely hypothetical. All right. Family and friends. Your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends. Score yourself here. So let's say I score myself 5. Okay. Romance. Okay. My wife is watching this webinar, so I'm going to be very modest, just in case she probably, says something to me. All right. So 0 to 10, watching myself and rating myself. I'm going to give myself, let's just be conservative, just in case she has a different opinion. I'm going to rate myself 7 because I try. You know what I'm saying? I'm bad. I'm really good at romance, so 7. Sweetheart, if you're watching, I know, there's always room for improvements. Okay, moving on. Romance, 7. Personal growth, all right? How much did you grow in 2015? All right, how much did you grow in 2015? So let's say for me, I would rate myself 9. In 2015, I think I worked my butt off. I studied, I went to seminars, got certifications and things like that, improved myself. So let's say I'd score myself a 9 here. All right, fun and recreation. To be honest, I'm going to maybe score myself a 4 here. I could have gone out to the movies more, had some better fun, doing a lot of other things. But let's just say I'm going to give myself 4 because I just don't know how to relax, because there's so much business on my mind and so many things I'm thinking / worrying about. Okay, physical environment, your quality of your house, where you live, your environment. So you could have a really nice banana island type house, but you're living in Songo, for example. No disrespect to anyone who lives in Songo. It's just hypothesis, okay? So for example, let's say you work on the island, you work at Lekki, and your house is at Songo, but it's a really nice house, but it's at Songo, but your office is in Lekki, which means you're going to spend a lot of your time in traffic. So let's say, for example, you might want to score yourself, let's say 3 or 2, just in case. All right. Now, this is what I want you to do. Once you've itemized or scored yourself in each of these dimensions, what I'd like you to do is join the dots. So for example, if I was 5 in business and 10 in finances, I would join the dots between 5 and 10. Let's say health, I rated myself 6 to 6. Okay. Let's say family and friends, I rated myself 2. It would go this way. Let's say romance, I rated myself 7. It would go this way. Let's say in personal growth, I rated myself 9. It'll go this way. Fun and recreation would go this way, and like that. So at the end of the day, you would have some very interesting looking connections or diagram. All right. Let me know if you've been able to do that. All right, cool. Now, if you have, this is my thought. Now, what this assessment is, this is what we call the wheel of life. All right. This is what we call the wheel of life. And it's a very strong and very powerful coaching tool that we use in order to be able to help people, effectively work on themselves. Now, here's the thing. If you looked at this wheel, obviously a wheel is circular. All right. So for example, if this was the wheel or the tire of a car or a bicycle, obviously the smoother and rounder it is, the easier it is for it to rotate. The smoother and rounder it is, the easier it is for you to get to your destination without any hiccups or hang-ups. So for example, now this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at what your diagram looks like when you joined all the dots, okay? Now, your diagram most generally may not be round. So here's the thing. If your diagram is not round, if it was the tire of a bicycle and you had to get to your destination, how smooth would your journey be? I'm going to say that again. Looking at the dots you've joined, whatever it is that you've joined, if it was the tire of a bicycle and you had to ride from point A to point B, how smooth would your journey be? All right. Obviously, your journey may not be very smooth because you have some highs and you have some lows and you have some middles and whatever the case may be. If it was a tire, you would be you would be, I don't know, for the lack of a better term, you just wouldn't be able to make effective decisions. Now, here's my point. This is why this wheel is so effective. Now, I'm not per se so interested in all the things that you did well. Your lowest points, check this out, wherever you scored the lowest, So for example, let's say your finances, you scored yourself a 2. In your, in your health, you scored yourself a 1. Let's assume that those were your lowest scores. Wherever you scored the lowest is the part of your life that is slowing you down the most. Now, I'm not interested in your high scores. Your high scores are okay. I'm interested in your low scores. Wherever you scored the lowest, right, is the area of your life that is slowing you down the most. And those are the areas of your life that you need to work on immediately. So for example, if your romance in your relationship was, let's say, subpar, let's say it was less than 5, that means, sweetheart, your relationship is in danger because maybe there's not enough romance in it. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Your lowest points are the areas that will require the greatest amount of work. Now, I want to go back into this, into the live video. All right. And I'd like you to tell me, all right, I'd like you to tell me the area of your life that you require the most work. So I can see Bankley says grabbing popcorn. Hey, Banky, holla. Tony, hi. Remy, hey. Ibuka, all right. Tony says, I can't see the circle. It's a little blurry. Tony, it might be your network. So you might want to refresh, okay? It might be your network. Okay, so what I want you to do is on the screen, if you can, in the chat box, simply just tell me the area of your life that you think requires the greatest amount of work. Where did you have your lowest score? That's what I want to know. Where did you have your low score? What was your low score? All right. So if you can just let me know, I would absolutely appreciate that. All right. So Remy says yes. So Remy tells Tony, she says, Tony, you might need to use a PC. It might be better there. I would recommend for this particular webinars, you might always want to use either a PC for the best resolution or an iPad or something like that. The smaller your devices are, sometimes it can get a little blurry, but no problemo. All right. So please do let me know the areas that you have the lowest scores so that we can talk about that. All right. Moving on back to the presentation. All right. Cool. So here's the question. Yeah. What area on this wheel are you most wanting and willing to make a difference in? Right? What area on the wheel are you most wanting and willing to make a difference in? All right? So I'd like you to tell me that. It might be your relationships, romance, it might be finance, it might be any of those things. Let me know. All right? Then we'll go to this next question. So let me go back to the presentation. Let me go back to the live video. All right, cool. All right, cool. So Banco, yeah. So Tony, it's most likely your internet connection. I don't know what service provider you're using. I'm not going to mention anybody's name. But yeah. All right, cool. So now you've gotten your wheel of life. Now you can immediately know the area of your life that is slowing you down. It might be your relationships. It might be your finances. It might be love and romance. It might be your business and career. Now think about that. Once one area of your life is out of sync, it has a ripple effect on the rest. I'm going to say that again. Once one area in your life or on your wheel is out of sync, so it just throws the rest out of whack. So imagine, for example, your wheel had 10, 10, 10 all around, except in, let's say, your health, and your health was a 3. No matter how round it was before, once it gets to that 3, you're always going to be limping, so to speak. It's going to be slowing you down. No matter how fast you're running your finances, no matter how fast you're running in your love life, once one area is out of whack, it will throw everything out of balance. All right, so beautiful. So Ibuka says, His lowest score was in finance and romance. All right, so Ibuka, you scored yourself a 2 in finance, and you scored yourself 3 in romance. Ibuka, I'd really love to know why you scored yourself 3 in romance. It could be that you're single, so you need a girlfriend. So hey, we could hook you up with you. Finances. Now you might think about this, Ibuka. You might find out that your finances are tied to your business and career. All right. So Ibuka, check it out. I'd like to know what exactly you scored in your business or career, because most in generally your finances is tied to your work. It's tied to your business. It's tied to your career. So for example, if you have job dissatisfaction, it will affect your finances. If you don't have a job automatically, or if you don't have a job, you don't have a business, it would automatically affect your finances. I'd like to know that. Tony says fun and recreation 2, finances 3. All right. Thank you so much for your honesty, Tony. Fun and recreation 2. You need to get out more, man. I'm sure you're hustling and grinding. You're on the paper chase trying to make this money. I totally feel you, man. Sometimes I found out that 100% focus in one area usually tends to throw the other areas out of balance. So some people say, let me give an example. So for some ladies who may be single watching this would say to me, Steve, I'm not interested in relationships right now. All I want is my work, my career. So they focus on the career at the expense of other areas. So the relationship goes out of whack, this goes out of sorts, and something or the other. Okay, so Tony says fun, recreation 2, finances 3. All right, cool. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, all right, let's get back to the presentation. Let's go into that. Let's talk about that for a bit. All right, now, the question here says, what would you like to create in this area? All right, so wherever you scored the lowest, all right, probably in finance or whatever, what score would you like to have in this area? All right, so for example, some of the fellas and people on this webinar said maybe fun and recreation 2, finances 3. All right, what would you like over the next 30 days? Because I'm of the strong opinion that whatever you do not measure, you cannot manage it. I'm going to say that again. Whatever you cannot measure, or whatever you do not measure, you cannot manage. Right? So if you don't measure your level of success over a period of time, and for me, I respectfully suggest 30 days. Whatever you can measure over the next 30 days will make a huge difference in your life. So let's say if you scored low in your finances or in your health or your fun and recreation, let's say you scored a 2, okay? What would you like over the next 30 days? What would you like it to be? Now, please don't come and tell me you want it to be 10. Let's be very realistic right here. All right, let's be realistic. 10 may not be able to do it for you. A 10 may not be able to cut it. All right, so you might want to be able to think about it, look at it and say to yourself, you know what? Hey, maybe I want to move from being a 2, right, to being maybe a 4. All right, that's something you might want to consider. All right, so that's the question. What would you like to create in this area? All right. Moving on. All right. Now, this is my favorite part. All right. This is my favorite part. What fears or limiting beliefs are holding you back from achieving the life you desire? What's limiting you? Yeah, what's limiting you? Now, this is something that I'm really becoming passionate about because of my dearly beloved friend Bankole Williams, who's an emotional intelligence and psychology junkie. So he kind of put me across this. So shout out to Bankole. This is the last time I'm going to give you a shout out this year. So enjoy it while it lasts. All right. But check this out. We all have limiting belief systems that are often subconscious and have affected our ability to leave certain levels. So have you ever caught yourself saying things like, do you think money grows on trees? Or it's not for people like me? Or I don't deserve this? These are limiting belief systems. All right. So this is the task I want you to give yourself. Okay. I want you to be vulnerable here. Okay. Now be honest with yourself. And in this case, in my words, it's telling yourself the cold, hard truth. Tell yourself, all right, what fears, ask yourself this, what fears, what insecurities, what doubts are holding you back from achieving everything that you've wanted in your life? All right. What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Okay. I want you to be very honest with yourself. What are the things that are slowing you down from moving forward? So for example, let me get back to this so that I can talk to you face to face concerning this one. Okay. So before I continue, before I get into that, Peace, it's Timmy. Hey, Peace. Peace says finance 2, health 2. Ibuka says I scored 5 in career because I'm employed, getting a stable income, but I'm not comfortable in my current career. All right, I got you, Ibuka. I totally got you. Somebody says, unfortunately, I can't seem to read it. Who this is? Fun and recreation is a 5. I want to be an 8. You'll be having way too much fun, and maybe too much fun is probably not what you need right now. I'm just messing with you. All right, cool. We're talking about limiting belief systems, okay? One of the things that I say, and it's going to be on the presentation as well, is your life experience affects your belief systems. Your belief systems determines your decisions, and your decisions will determine your destiny. Now, I'm going to say that again. You might want to write it down or chat, type it out on the chat room as well. All right? It says, your life experiences will create your belief systems. Your belief systems will determine your decisions, and your decisions will determine your destiny. Very important. Your life experiences will create your belief systems. Your belief systems will affect your decisions, and your decisions will determine your destiny. What does that mean? It sounds like a lot of psychological, stuff, but let me break it down to you. To a large degree, we're a function of our environment. We're a function of our experiences in life. When you go through stuff that leaves you in a very high emotional state, sometimes it tends to freeze you in that state of mind. Let me give you a practical example. So, when I was in college and when I was in the university, I dropped out of school. First off, I was kicked out of school when I was 24 or 25 or something like that. It seems so long ago, but I was kicked out of school, and that was a traumatic thing in my mind, because when I got kicked out of school, or before I got kicked out of school, my course advisor and from my academic transcripts, they told me that I wasn't intelligent, that I wasn't smart, that I wasn't good enough. So failing school and getting kicked out referenced or reinforced the belief. It created a belief in my mind that previously wasn't there. Because before I got chucked out of school, I never in my wildest dreams thought that I was dumb. I'd always had a great self-esteem concerning myself. I always had a great self-image. I believed a lot in myself. But when I got kicked out of school, a new belief system was formed by my life experience, which said to me that you are not intelligent, you are not smart, you are not good enough. Your brain doesn't have what it takes to process information. And I believed that for a while. And I had to struggle for that. Now, understand this. So because of what I went through in school, it created a new belief system in my mind that said, I am not smart. Okay, says to me, oh, Steve Harris, you are not smart, you're not intelligent, you're not good enough. Now, once that told me that I wasn't good enough, and I began to believe it, I began to believe that, call it what you will, self-fulfilling prophecy, that I wasn't smart or intelligent, it started affecting my decisions. So it started affecting my decisions concerning going back to school at one point. It started affecting my decisions concerning things like writing examinations, because I would write an exam and know that I will fail. Why? Because my life experience had told me that I was not smart enough. It affected my decisions. I never made a conscious decision, so to speak, not to study, not to work hard, not to work on my mind or work on my brain. But because I believed it, it became my reality. All right. Let me give another practical example. One of the things that we put on the slide was the fact that, hey, I said to you that, look, traps, I've lost my train of thought. Talking about your life experiences and your belief system. Beautiful. So I said, do you believe that money grows on trees? Beautiful. Now I remember. Right. So when I was growing up at a time, when my friends were and their family were going abroad for holidays, we were going in broad. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. My friends were traveling out of the country. We were traveling in the country. Particularly, we're going to our village for holidays. And when I would ask my dad why we couldn't travel to America to go to the UK or some nice fancy country, Disneyland, Disney World or something like that, my dad would say things like, do you think money grows on trees? And it wasn't just for the big stuff. Sometimes I'd ask for little stuff, and he would tell me, do you think money grows on trees? I don't have money. Do you think money grows on trees? And before you knew it, that created a program in my mind. Now, let me explain what this means. So, for example, if I were to ask you, in your opinion, what do you think the best day of the week is? If you work, most likely your answer is Friday. Absolutely. Friday is the best day of the week. All right. What do you think? What's the worst day of the week? What's the worst day? Monday, right? Yeah, sort of, kind of. But I'm of the opinion that Sunday evening is the worst day of the week. Technically, if you work in a job that you don't like, if you are working a job that you hate, I strongly recommend that you get my brother's book, Bankole Williams. He has an amazing book, Engaged to a Job I Hate. I'm going to say that again. Bankole Williams' book, Engaged to a Job I Hate. Go to his website. I believe it's bankolewilliams.com, if I'm not mistaken. You can tweet at him at I am Bankole. He's got an amazing book called Engaged to a Job I Hate. So you can read his book, and he can talk to you about how to love your job or do what you love. All right. So enough of the adverts. Moving on. Yes. So dealing with that, you would recognize that, Sunday evening, all of a sudden, you start running a temperature. When first you went to church, you were happy, you were excited. Maybe around this time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you start getting very antsy, you start getting very nervous, you start getting very upset and things like that. Your temperature begins to go, you start getting cranky. You never made a conscious decision, so to speak, to get cranky. Your program just kicked in, and all of a sudden you started acting in a certain way. That's what normally happens. Okay. Now, your life experiences, all these things affect you. So when I was growing up and my dad would say things like, do you think money grows on trees? It started affecting me. Let me give you a true example, true case in point, because we don't have much time. All right. So what happened? So I was married for about 2 years at the time, and after church on Sunday, I'd like to take my family out to lunch. And I noticed we'd go to the same regular places like KFC, TFC, Mr. Biggs, all those sorts of places along the Victoria Island axis. And all of a sudden, one day it dawned on me that there were certain restaurants along the same streets that I never particularly went to. For example, let me just mention the major one, the Eco Hotel and Suites in Victoria Island. I never, ever thought I could go and eat in the Eco Hotel. Let me tell you why. Very simply, because I said to myself, people like me don't go to places like this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Based on my life experiences, which said to me that because you were taught to manage, money doesn't grow on trees, manage. In my mind, it created what I call a money mentality. And that money mentality is a paradigm, a belief system concerning how you relate to money. So my belief system concerning money was thinking like going to places like the Eco Hotel was a waste of money. One, going to the Eco Hotel to eat or drink or whatever was a waste of money. Two, I had this belief system because I dropped out of school. It affected my self-esteem. I said to myself, people like me don't go to places like that. Now, guess what? I had never made a conscious decision never to go into the Eco Hotel. But what happened? My subconscious mind determined my destiny for me by its programming based on its life experiences. I hope that wasn't too complicated, right? So I never in my mindset, it was on my bucket list, oh, I will never go to the Eco Hotel and eat. I never made those decisions. But based on my programming, I was wired never to go to that place because I saw the Eco Hotel as a threat based on my life experiences. I hope this is making some sense. So fast forward. So I recognized that I was running a program. And I said to myself, listen, man, if we keep eating at Mr. Biggs, we have put a ceiling at our future. No disrespect to Mr. Biggs or anyone who works there. I'm just keeping it the way it is. But I recognize that your environment, the place you eat, determines your net worth. There's some place, listen, forget it. I don't care what you say. There, you will never, ever, ever see Tony Elumelu, Dangote, or any of those rich folks eating at Mr. Biggs or KFC. It's not going to happen. Where will they eat? They'll be at the Sky Bar, the Sky Lounge in Eco Hotel, or all those places, the Intercontinental Hotel and Suites. They'll be having lunch there. Those are the places that you would see them. So I recognized that eating at Mr. Biggs and KFC had put a ceiling, so to speak, on my destiny. So I decided to break that program. Let me tell you what I did so you learn from my own personal experience. What happened? So I decided that I was going to the Eco Hotel to have lunch. So I, had cash, made money available. Carried my 2 debit cards, made sure the account was funded just in case one was declined, the other would be okay. And just in case both were declined, I made sure I had cash. No weapon formed against me that day was going to prosper. You know what I mean? So I drove into the hotel, air-conditioned car, ready to go. Money paid up, everything is ready. I drive into the Eco Hotel. And if you've been there, as I'm sure you have to, press a button to get a ticket, all right, a time ticket. But before you do that, there's a little note somewhere in the middle that simply says, "Oh, the first 15 minutes are free. Every hour after that is 200 naira," something like that. Now, check this out. I said to myself as I picked this ticket stub, I said to myself, "I'm not going to be here longer than 15 minutes." What the heck? That doesn't even make any sense. I had money. Money was not my problem. 200 naira was not my problem. But because I had a negative limiting belief concerning my environment, so check this out. If you carry a poor mindset into a wealthy place, you will be a poor person in a wealthy place. I'm going to say that again. If you carry a poor mindset into a wealthy place, you will be a poor person in a wealthy place. All right. So eventually I drove into the hotel, parked my car, time on the clock, gotta move. Boom. I couldn't ask anyone where the restaurant was because I didn't want them to feel like it was my first time, that I was at JJC or, Johnny Come Lately or something like that. So I took about 2 minutes to find my way, found the restaurant. Eventually I got there. Now, once I got to the restaurant and I sat, because this was very important to me, I needed to deprogram my previous programming, which said to me that going to places like this was a waste of time. I don't deserve to be placed in places like this, right? So I sat there, and immediately I sat, all of a sudden the waiter shows up, and he brings me a menu. Technically brings me 2 menus. One is a food menu, the second is a drinks menu. All right. And as he's doing that, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it's called shopping on the right side of the menu. So you know what I did? I took the menu, right, and I scrolled down. Now, please understand, shopping on the right side of the menu simply means on the left side of the menu is the item, on the right side of the menu is the price, right? So what you want is not predicated by what you want, it's predicated of the price of what you want. So I looked at the menu, scrolled for the cheapest thing that I could afford. Remember, this is my belief system working without my conscious mind knowing. I scrolled for the cheapest thing that I could afford within my comfort zone. It was Coca-Cola, 1,000 naira. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me just order Coke and just chill. So I ordered the bottle of Coke. Please listen to that word, the bottle of Coke. Yes, I ordered the bottle of Coke and I was waiting. Now, while I was waiting, I'm sitting in this very plush environment, this plush restaurant, and I'm taking it all in. Now, please understand that when you have new experiences and you're open to them, you're creating references. Now, those references build what we call neural pathways. I wish I could write that down. They build neural pathways. So A neural pathway is a bridge. It creates a reference. It's just like a little sliver of cable that your brain uses to create a new experience. So for example, I had never previously been to the Eco Hotel or a nice fancy restaurant like that, such that when I thought about going to a restaurant like that, because I had no neural pathways or no references of going to a very plush restaurant, my brain could not, or my subconscious mind could not find it. Therefore, since it could not find it, it was a threat. Are you with me so far? All right. So me sitting, I need to create a new reference point, a new neural pathway, so that after this event, I can go back home and subconsciously replay this entire experience. I could fast forward, I could slow it down, I could, whatever it is, I could do all that. And so here I was sitting and I was chilling, trying to get myself into this environment. And all of a sudden the waiter shows up. Check this out. He brings a glass with ice. It's got cucumber and lime at the bottom. All right. And then he brings my bottle of Coca-Cola. All right. And then what does he do? He takes the bottle of Coca-Cola, he pours it into the glass filled with ice. Once the glass is full, remember I ordered a bottle of Coke. Once the glass is full, the bottle is still about, half full. You know what he does? He puts the glass down, takes the bottle, puts it on the tray, and walks away. Hey, as he walks away, I don't know if you know what I did. I said, hey, guy, come back here. Because my life experience said I had paid for a bottle of Coke. And I said to myself, do you know how many bottles of Coke are in 1,000 naira that you gave me a glass? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know, maybe that's a whole crate of Coke, Seth, right? This 1K could have bought me a crate of Coca-Cola, and you poured me half a bottle. I paid 1,000 naira. That was just my life experience, my belief system just kicking in. And the guy just smiled at me and he looks at me, he says to me, says, is this your first time? No joke, says your first time, Abi. And, I felt embarrassed, but you know what? It was very, very educative and instructive to see how your mind, your belief system will affect your future and your destiny. Remember what I said to you initially, your life experiences will create your belief system. Your belief systems will determine your decisions, and your decisions will determine your destiny. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's go back into this, shall we? I'm almost done. All right, so your limiting beliefs create psychological barriers. And if you keep thinking the same way, you're going to have the same results. The reason you have results that you don't like in 2015 is because of the same old thinking. You've been having the same old programming. It's just a very nasty loop. The same old thinking will create the same old results. I'm going to say that again. The same old thinking will create the same old results. You have got to be very careful about what you think. All right. And here are some ideas or some types of belief systems that we may have. So, for example, I'm not good enough. I need to be in control. I'm angry. I'm not safe in the world. Life's not fair. No one likes me. I have to be perfect. And because you try to get things perfect, nothing ever gets done. I'm afraid. I have to always keep people happy. I don't like myself. I don't deserve to be loved. There's no point in trying. Now, all these things are examples of your negative, limiting belief system. All right. These are some of the things that we go through that hold us back. You know what I want you to do? I want you to just type for me what you think your own personal limiting belief might be. And it might be something here, it might not be something here. One of my limiting beliefs was that money had to be sweated for to be earned. Money had to be sweated for to be earned. So any money that I did not sweat or labor or toil for, that I earned easily, I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like I didn't work for it. So I felt like you needed to labor, toil, work crazy hours in order to be able to make some money. All right. So I'd like you to just, type in the chat box and just let me know exactly what you think your limiting belief has been. All right. This is what I said to you before. Your life experiences create your belief systems, which affect your decisions and which will invariably affect your destiny. All right. Your life experiences create your belief systems, which affect your decisions and inadvertently will affect your destiny. All right. So while you write out the present belief system, the limiting belief system you might have, I'd also like you to throw in something here. What new belief system must you adopt in order to create the life you desire? All right. What new belief system must you adopt to create the life you desire? All right. I'd like you to write that down. I'd like you to write that down. So, what new belief system must you adopt to create the life you desire? So, I'd like you to tell me, all right, which of these limiting beliefs do you think you're currently engage in? All right. Which of these limiting beliefs do you think you're currently engaged in? So do let me know when you can. All right. All right, beautiful. So I can't see the name here. It says, I don't have the discipline to achieve my goals sometimes. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I can't see your name right here because there's something blocking me way at the top. But I'm sure as somebody's chat comes in, it'll come to the bottom. All right. Yes, Larry. That's Larry. Okay. Larry says, my limiting belief is I always think, well, I don't have the discipline to achieve my goal sometimes. Therefore, you don't try. Thank you so much, Larry, for your honesty. I really appreciate that. Someone says, I can't see it exactly. Someone says, I'm not good enough or won't be the best. Once something comes in, I'll be able to take a look at it. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Okay. So I feel like I'm not good enough or won't be the best. Okay, that's another limiting belief. So please, keep it out there, keep it coming. Let me see what you come up with. All right. And these are the limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs just have a very crazy way of just keeping you, they stop you from moving, they stop you from trying, they keep you imprisoned. And that is major. All right. So the question now is, based on what I put out to you initially, was what new belief system must you create to have the life that you want? What new belief system must you create to have the life that you want? You got to be able to write that down as well. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. I want to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes maximum. Okie dokie. Please keep those belief systems coming in so that we can talk about them. All right. Now, this is what I want you to do. This is a very simple action step that I would be able to help you with. Write down 30 actions or habits that you would like to achieve over the next 30 days. Now, I know that I said we're only going to be dealing with 2, but just stay with me so far. Now, you don't have to write these 30 down immediately. You can use that as your take home, so to speak. So take-home assignment to work through, okay? Write down 30 actions or habits that you would like to achieve over the next 30 days, all right? Then separate your activities into 15 nice to-dos, right? 15 nice to-dos and 15 must-dos. Right? Separate your activities into 15 nice to-dos and 15 must-dos. What does that mean? Very simple. Have a column. Yes? Have a column or a row, whatever the case may be. Do, nice to do, write 15. Do, must do, write 15. Okay? And please be as specific as possible. So for example, do things like, maybe you can write things like, let's see. Oh, for example, I have this example. It says pray, for example, read my Bible and my Quran, kiss my spouse, exercise, read, maybe read a chapter of a book a day, no alcohol. So for example, if you have a drinking problem, I'm just messing with you, right? All right, no alcohol. I need to review my goals every day. If you have a business, it could be things like, oh, I want to make 30 sales calls every day. It has to be measurable. All right, whatever you do not measure, you cannot manage. I'm going to say that again. Whatever you do not measure, you cannot manage. It is absolutely important, right? No fast food. For example, okay, date nights. I need to go on date nights every day or every week or every, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. All right. So I need you to be able to think of it from that particular point of view. What are some of the things that you need to be able to do practically? Practically. Okay. So just think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. So what are some of the actions? Now, for example, remember what I said. Separate them into 15 nice to do's, then 15 must do's. Now, this is what I want you to do. From the 15 must do's, because the nice to do's, they're not important. These are things that you would really like to do, but you will never get them done, you know? But these are things that, as far as you're concerned, it will tie into your business. All right? 15 must do's, right? From the 15, just choose 10. And these are the 10 we chose. From the 15, just to do 10. So maybe every day your goal is to pray. Maybe not necessarily pray an hour, but you want to pray in the morning. So pray. I want to read one chapter of my Bible or my Quran. Use it. I want to make sure that the first thing I do before I leave the house, I must kiss my spouse. And you measure it. Now, you might be wondering, right? You might be wondering, how do you get your hands on this tracker? All right. So let me see if I can help you with that. How do you get your hands on this tracker? Very simple. So I have an offer that is most likely popped on your screen right now, okay? And it expires in 30 minutes. It expires in 30 minutes, okay? So you can get what I call the Change Your Life in 30 Days workbook. This is a workbook that I designed myself. I use it. The members of my family, my wife uses it. Some of my friends use it as well. It's absolutely phenomenal. It really does work. Hey, order this, and we are giving, I believe, yes, we are giving a 30% discount. So ideally, this workbook retails for 5,000 Naira. It's a PDF, it's an ebook. So once you pay for it, it just downloads to your device. You can print it and use it over and over and over and over again, because if it was a physical copy, you would keep having to buy, but you get this soft copy, print it and use it as many times as you want. So for 30 minutes only, at 29 minutes and 39 seconds counting, if you order yours, just simply click on the I want mine button. If you order yours, we give you a 30% discount. So that means you can get it for, what's 30% of 5,000? For 3,500 Naira in the next 29 minutes, okay? This is a comprehensive tool that I use. I've developed it myself. It works on your limiting beliefs. It helps you identify those limiting beliefs, because with this webinar, what we've done is we've cascaded a lot of information in just an hour and a bit, but there's so much more that we can be doing together. So, hey, make sure you get with that. Alrighty then, let's get back to the grind. Make sure you order your book. Let's continue. All right, so then once you've gotten this, you can now begin to track every day. Now, one of the things that just will help you is to have an accountability partner. All right, I always recommend that you have an accountability partner. So just in case you feel like you're struggling with following through on your goals, I would recommend, hey, this is what I do. It's a buddy system. All right, it's a buddy system. So you can call, Ibuka and say, Ibuka, you know what, dude, these are my 10 goals. These are the things that I want to do. And I want to be able to measure them every day for the next 30 days. So from day 1 to day 30, right? I'm going through, and for any day that I don't deliver, right, I will give you 1,000 Naira, or I'll give you $10 for any day that I don't deliver, if I forget to do it. All right. So if you see here, every day, so this guy prayed day 1, 2, 3, but he forgot to pray. He didn't pray on day 7, prayed all through, didn't pray on day 14. He's got like a weekly cycle. All right. So think about it. The same thing. Oh, this guy read his Bible here, blah, 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 blah. So you fill in the gaps as you go along. You fill in the gaps as you go along. And this is something that is quite profound, but you honestly cannot get all this level of satisfaction and success without some level of coaching. All right. And why do you need coaching? Very, very simple, because you need someone to be accountable to. Right now, for 2016, my goal is to coach as many people as possible, but I want to take only over the course of this month going into January, I'm going to be coaching only 15 people. Is it 15 people? No, we're going to be coaching only 10 people. All right. 10 people only for 30 days, which ends by December 31, 2015. And my goal also is that, hey, but if when we do a great job, we can coach you in different areas of your life. So when you look at your wheel of life, again, let's go back to that. So if you go to your wheel of life, hey, why don't let me be your coach? Let me coach you through, let's say, for example, your business. All right. Maybe you're not satisfied with your business. Maybe you're not satisfied with your finances. You don't know how to make money. You don't know how to manage money. You don't know how to multiply it. I can coach you. Wherever you had your lowest score, right? Wherever you had your lowest score, this is my suggestion. Keep calm and let me be your coach, right? Let me coach you. And let me tell you why coaching is very, very important. I want to show you a very quick video. I want to show you a very quick video. Please make sure you order the book. It expires, this offer ends in 26 minutes. All right. But let me show you why coaching is very, very important. This is a phenomenal video that I'm about to share with you. I'm going to shut up. And once it's done, I will continue talking. So enjoy this video now. Alrighty, so that was an amazing video that just talks to you about the value of time, the value of every second. So hey, I would love to be able to coach you. I'd love to be able to coach you through this process. So like I said, I just want to be able to deal with one of the areas wherever you scored the lowest. So wherever you score the lowest, keep calm and let me be your coach in 2015 and of course carrying through to 2016. But then, you need to be able to know, why should I be able to be the one who can help you? Don't go into 2016 without having a coach. I know there are a lot of people who call themselves coaches these days, but there are very few that I can vouch for. There are very few people that I can trust. And the results of coaching, most in general, in fact, definitely is results. Anyone who tells you he's a coach and he doesn't have results, forget about that person. He or she is a joker. All right. There are a few people that I've been privileged to coach, and they have their testimonials here. So this is a very phenomenal friend of mine that I'm privileged to know, Stephanie Obi, and I was privileged to coach her. And she says, you know how the phrase "take your business to the next level" sounds cliche? It doesn't really mean anything except you experience it. I discovered what the next level of my business being coached by Steve. First off, I got a wake-up call. I'm used to giving people wake-up calls, and I don't easily find the kind of people who can give me my own wake-up call. I got so much from Steve, I'm still overwhelmed with emotion. Secondly, I got a mindset shift. I'm now treating my business as a proper business, not just in terms of making money, but also by setting the right structures to run like a proper multinational company, because that's what we are. Yes, StephanieOB.com. Third, I discovered that there were several limiting beliefs, again, see that word, that I had, and I did not know that I even had them. They got resolved by being coached by Steve, and I'm now moving with the speed of ruthless execution, and my results will blow your mind. This investment was worth my time. In fact, the money I got and paid is a tiny fraction of the value I got. So yeah, that's Steph OB at StephanieOB.com. She is phenomenal. All right. This is another gentleman I know you know, John Obidi, who says, before meeting Steve Harris, I made what I consider to be a decent income from my business. However, there were certain aspects of my business model that were attracting low quality clients and blah, blah, blah. If you are at any point of your entrepreneurial journey, you must have experienced this, where clients will always underprice your services, but are surprisingly willing to pay double elsewhere for the same thing. And this used to be me until I got coached by Steve. Working with Steve, I learned skills and techniques that gave me unfair advantage over my competition. I love that word, unfair advantage. I learned the secrets of positioning, authority building, and how to create a respectable business process. After the coaching session, I started working on just a few of the recommendations, and just 33 days later, I got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This time, I was armed with superior information. I smashed it and made my first million. Technically, he made his first millions. I recommend Steve Harris to everyone who runs a business. Steve Harris knows his onions, and he's willing to share. That's John Obidi. All right. And my daughter here, another of my daughters here, Remy Owadukun. Steve has been coaching me since October 2014. I started my Total Makeover program in January 2015, and in less than 10 months, made over $6 million from, wait for it, my mobile device. All right, I want to make $6 million from my mobile device. Just kidding. Now it doesn't end there. Steve is a phenomenal life coach. Yes, I agree. And my coaching sessions with him have prepared me to explore new horizons and multiply my streams of income. I highly recommend him, and he will be absolutely worth it. All right, so if this is you, if you want to be, you want me to work with you through coaching, simply just send me an email right there. Info at IamSteveHarris.com, or you can tweet at me at IamSteveHarris. All right. So this is my email address. Just send an email, and we'll send you the information and the details, so that I can help you. I can work with you. It is my desire to coach high-performing individuals, and I believe that you are one of those people who I guarantee is high performing. So send me an email, info at IamSteveHarris.com, or simply tweet at me at IamSteveHarris. So keep calm and let me be your coach. Thank you for participating in this webinar. I'll let you know so that you can get a replay of this video. So, because I know that some of you may have been struggling with internet connectivity. But hey, I'm gonna see how we can make it available to you, because that's how nice I am. All right, cool. So I still have here, Tony says his limiting belief is that my output won't be good enough or won't be the best. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much, fellas, for participating. I hope this has been worth your while. Remember that offer for the webinar for the workbook expires in another 16 minutes, after which the price goes back to 5,000 Naira. So if you can get it, make it happen, make it happen. And thank you so much for participating in this webinar. This has been your life and business strategist, Steve Harris, the Educutioner, saying to you, it's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. In 2015, I hope you find it. I hope you work it. And I hope you can give me the opportunity to work with you in 2016. Peace in the Middle East. Pray for Paris. Peace.